Ladies and gentlemen, every day you wake up with the opportunity to shape your reality. We all know that life can throw challenges our way, but the way you choose to start your day can set the tone for everything that follows. Today I want to share with you a life-changing practice that, when applied consistently, has the power to transform your life. It's simple, effective, and completely under your control. It's about speaking 10 powerful things to yourself every morning. You see, our minds are constantly absorbing thoughts, ideas, and beliefs, whether we're aware of it or not. And what we tell ourselves shapes how we see the world and how we show up in it. Our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings drive our actions. If we want to change our lives, we must begin by changing the way we think. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is through affirmations. These are not just empty words. These are statements of truth that you declare over your life, regardless of the circumstances. By speaking them every morning, you align your mind with your purpose, your goals, and your highest potential. Here's how it works. Let's take a moment to reflect on the power of our thoughts. Every morning we wake up with the opportunity to set the tone for our day. How we begin our morning often determines how we move through the hours ahead. Our thoughts, beliefs, and self-talk shape our experiences. And the truth is that the words we speak to ourselves can either propel us forward or hold us back. Today I want to focus on the incredible potential of speaking positive affirmations to ourselves every morning. Specifically, speaking 10 powerful things that can change the course of your life. This practice, simple yet profound, can have a remarkable impact on your mindset, your productivity, and your overall well-being. When you consistently speak positive affirmations, you are not only rewiring your brain, but you are also reinforcing your belief in your own potential. This is the first step in the process of transformation. You see, your mind is constantly absorbing information. Whether you are aware of it or not, your thoughts shape your emotions, your decisions, and your behavior. So, if you want to change your life, you must first change the way you think, and that starts with what you say to yourself. I want to walk you through 10 affirmations that have the power to transform your life. These are not just empty words. These are declarations that align you with your highest potential. By speaking them every morning, you set your mind on a path of growth, positivity, and success. The first affirmation to speak to yourself each morning is, I am in control of my thoughts and actions. It's important to remember that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can always control how we respond to life's challenges. The external world may throw obstacles our way, but we get to decide how we navigate them. This affirmation is a reminder that you hold the power to choose your mindset. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. By speaking this affirmation every morning, you reclaim your personal power and take responsibility for your thoughts and actions. Next, affirm, I am worthy of success and happiness. Too often we allow self-doubt to creep into our minds. We question our worth and our ability to succeed. We think that we don't deserve the things we desire, or that success is reserved for others. But the truth is, you are deserving of all the good that life has to offer. You have unique talents, gifts, and experiences that make you worthy of achieving your goals and living a life of fulfillment. This affirmation helps you acknowledge your inherent value and believe in your ability to create the life you envision. When you believe in your own worth, you take actions that reflect that belief, which in turn brings you closer to the success and happiness you deserve. The third affirmation is, I embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. Life is full of ups and downs. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. But rather than viewing these difficulties as roadblocks, choose to see them as opportunities for growth. Challenges are not here to break you, they are here to build you. Every difficulty you encounter presents an opportunity to learn, to evolve, and to become stronger. This affirmation shifts your perspective, helping you develop resilience and the ability to persevere in the face of adversity. It reminds you that growth often happens outside of your comfort zone, and that every challenge you face is an opportunity for you to become the best version of yourself. Another powerful affirmation is, I am focused on my goals and take deliberate action. Success doesn't come from wishing or hoping, it comes from consistent, intentional action. This affirmation reminds you to stay focused on what truly matters and to take concrete steps toward your goals every day. It's easy to get distracted by the noise of the world or to procrastinate when things feel overwhelming. But success requires discipline and focus. By affirming that you are focused on your goals, you reinforce the importance of your dreams and encourage yourself to take the necessary actions to bring them to life. The next affirmation is, I am capable of overcoming anything that comes my way. Life can be unpredictable, and sometimes it feels like everything is working against you. But let me remind you, no matter how difficult the circumstances, you are capable of overcoming them. You have the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience to navigate even the toughest situations. By affirming this, you remind yourself that you have faced challenges before and come out stronger on the other side. When you believe in your own ability to overcome obstacles, you approach difficulties with confidence and determination, knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. Speak to yourself, I attract positive energy and people into my life. The energy you put out into the world is the energy you receive. If you want to attract positive experiences and people, you must first cultivate positivity within yourself. This affirmation reminds you that you have the power to shape your environment. By focusing on positive thoughts, attitudes, and actions, you naturally attract people who uplift and support you. The energy you give to others is reflected back to you, and by consciously choosing positivity, you create a life filled with empowering relationships and opportunities. Another key affirmation is, I am grateful for all the abundance in my life. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions you can cultivate. When you are grateful, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have. This simple shift in perspective can have a profound impact on your mindset. By starting your day with gratitude, you train your mind to see abundance rather than scarcity. This affirmation opens your heart to the blessings that surround you and invites more good into your life. The more you express gratitude, the more reasons you will find to be thankful. Say to yourself, I forgive myself and learn from my mistakes. We all make mistakes, but it's how we respond to them that matters. Forgiveness is essential for personal growth. Holding on to guilt, shame, or regret keeps you stuck in the past and prevents you from moving forward. By forgiving yourself, you release the negative emotions that hold you back and free yourself to learn from your experiences. This affirmation helps you embrace your imperfections and view your mistakes as valuable lessons, not as defining moments. The next affirmation is, I am constantly evolving into the best version of myself. Growth is a lifelong process. Every day is an opportunity to improve, to learn, and to become better. This affirmation reminds you that you are not defined by your past, but by your potential. It encourages you to commit to self-improvement and to continually strive to be the best version of yourself. Each day is a chance to become wiser, stronger, and more capable than you were yesterday. Finally, say, today is a new day, and I am excited for the opportunities it brings. Each new day is a blank slate, a fresh start. This affirmation fills you with excitement for the possibilities that lie ahead. It helps you approach the day with enthusiasm, knowing that you have the power to make it a great day. By speaking this affirmation, you embrace the opportunities that come your way and approach life with a sense of adventure and possibility. When you speak these 10 affirmations to yourself every morning, you begin to reprogram your mind. You create a mindset that is focused on growth, success, and positivity. You align your thoughts with your goals and your actions with your highest potential. Over time, this practice will help you overcome obstacles, attract opportunities, and create the life you truly desire. The words you speak to yourself every morning are not just empty affirmations. They are declarations of your power, your potential, and your purpose. Speak them with conviction and watch your life transform. We all have a natural tendency to question our worth from time to time. It's an unfortunate human experience, one that often creeps in during moments of uncertainty or struggle. We doubt ourselves. We wonder if we are truly capable of achieving our dreams, and we ask whether we deserve success. But I want to remind you of something fundamental. You are worthy of success and happiness. I cannot stress enough how important it is to internalize this belief. Our sense of worth is the foundation upon which our lives are built. If you don't believe in your own worth, it's challenging to pursue your dreams with full conviction. If you don't see yourself as deserving of the things you desire, it becomes much harder to take the necessary steps to achieve them. Self-doubt becomes a barrier, limiting your potential, your actions, and ultimately your success. That is why it's essential every single morning to speak this affirmation: I am worthy of success and happiness. When you declare your worth, you are rejecting the negative narratives that society, past experiences, or even your inner critic may try to impose on you. The world can be harsh, and it can often tell us we're not enough or that we don't deserve the things we desire. Society may impose standards of success, and at times it may seem like only certain people can achieve greatness. But that's not the truth. The truth is that everyone has unique talents, gifts, and potential. Your worth is not defined by external factors or comparisons to others. Your worth is inherent in who you are. You are a unique individual with qualities that no one else in the world possesses. When you speak to yourself, I am worthy of success and happiness, you are affirming that you deserve all the good things that life has to offer. You are telling yourself that you have what it takes to succeed. You are acknowledging your ability to create happiness and fulfillment in your life, regardless of external circumstances. It's easy to get caught up in the belief that success is reserved for others, or that it's something you can only dream about. But let me remind you that the most successful people didn't achieve greatness by waiting for the right moment or by doubting their worth. They believed in themselves from the very beginning. They recognized their value, and they took bold actions toward their goals. Let's explore why this affirmation is so powerful. When you speak these words every morning, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. You begin to see the world through a lens of opportunity. You recognize that success and happiness are not finite resources. There is more than enough for everyone. The universe is abundant, and you have a place in that abundance. This mindset shift is crucial because when you believe you deserve good things, you begin to attract them into your life. You align yourself with success. Moreover, when you truly believe in your worth, you no longer settle for less than you deserve. You start making choices that reflect your belief in your own potential. This belief motivates you to set higher goals, take more risks, and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. When you doubt your worth, it's easy to stay in your comfort zone and avoid the challenges that come with growth. But by declaring that you are worthy of success, you challenge yourself to go after what you want, even if it's uncomfortable. You realize that discomfort is often a sign that you are on the right path toward growth and transformation. Believing in your worth also affects the way you interact with the world. When you see yourself as worthy, you stop seeking validation from others. You no longer need external approval to feel good about yourself. You stop comparing yourself to others and start celebrating your own unique journey. The world is full of comparisons, and it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your success against someone else's. But when you recognize your own worth, you stop comparing and start embracing your individuality. You understand that your path is uniquely yours and that your journey is not to be measured by the accomplishments of others. Furthermore, this affirmation helps to build a strong sense of self-esteem. Self-esteem is essential to living a fulfilled life. When you have high self-esteem, you are more likely to take care of yourself, physically, emotionally, and mentally. You treat yourself with respect and you set boundaries that protect your well-being. You make choices that nurture your growth and happiness because you recognize that you deserve to be happy and healthy. When you believe in your worth, you are more likely to seek out relationships that are supportive and uplifting. You no longer tolerate toxic or negative people in your life because you know you deserve better. Let's also talk about the role of gratitude in this affirmation. Gratitude is a powerful force that helps reinforce your belief in your worth. When you start your day by saying, "I am worthy of success and happiness," you are also practicing gratitude. You are acknowledging that there are things in your life right now that contribute to your success and happiness, whether it's your health, your relationships, or your unique talents. By recognizing these blessings, you start to focus on the positive aspects of your life rather than what you lack. This focus on gratitude opens the door for even more blessings to flow into your life. The more grateful you are for what you already have, the more you will attract opportunities that align with your worth. Now let me ask you, have you ever felt unworthy of success or happiness? Have you ever looked at someone else's achievements and thought, "That's not for me"? It's a common experience, but it's also a limiting one. The truth is that the universe does not withhold success from anyone. Success is not something that only a select few are entitled to. It's available to anyone who believes in their worth and is willing to take the necessary steps to pursue their dreams. You must recognize that you are deserving of success because of who you are, not because of what you've done or what you haven't done. Your worth is not tied to your past mistakes, your failures, or your shortcomings. It's tied to your potential, your heart, and your unique ability to contribute to the world. When you speak the words, "I am worthy of success and happiness," you are acknowledging this truth and reaffirming it every day. And as you continue to speak these words, you begin to feel it on a deeper level. Your actions will begin to reflect this belief, and you will naturally move toward the success and happiness that you deserve. So I challenge you today to start speaking this affirmation every morning with conviction. "I am worthy of success and happiness." Say it with belief. Say it as though you already know it to be true, because it is true. You are worthy. You are deserving. You are capable of creating a life filled with success, fulfillment, and joy. And as you continue to affirm this truth, you will start to see it reflected in your life. Remember, your worth is not something that needs to be earned. It is inherent in who you are. Embrace it, own it, and watch your life transform. Life is filled with challenges, some big, some small, but all of them are opportunities for growth. Often, when we face difficulties, it's easy to feel discouraged or defeated. We may even question our abilities, our strength, or our capacity to overcome the obstacles before us. But what if I told you that every challenge you encounter is not just a test of your endurance, but a chance for you to grow, evolve, and become stronger? What if you saw every challenge as an opportunity for growth rather than something to fear or avoid? That is exactly what the affirmation, "I embrace challenges as opportunities to grow," invites us to do. Challenges are a natural part of life. They come in many forms: personal struggles, professional obstacles, health issues, relationship challenges, financial difficulties, and much more. They can often feel overwhelming, and at times it might seem easier to retreat, to avoid facing them. However, if you choose to see these challenges not as burdens, but as stepping stones to your personal development, you will begin to view them through a completely different lens. Instead of feeling defeated, you'll feel empowered. Instead of seeing them as roadblocks, you'll see them as opportunities for transformation. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn something new about yourself. It's an opportunity to discover your strength, resilience, and determination. When you're faced with adversity, you often don't know how capable you truly are until you're forced to push through it. You may surprise yourself with the level of courage and resourcefulness you have when it's required. This is the beauty of challenges. They reveal parts of you that you may never have discovered had you not faced the obstacle in the first place. Let's take a moment to think about some of the most successful people in the world. I want you to think about the leaders, innovators, and visionaries that you admire. Whether it's someone in your field or someone from history, I can almost guarantee that their journey was not without hardship. Every great success story is filled with challenges. In fact, many of the most successful people didn't achieve greatness in spite of their challenges. They achieved greatness because of them. They embraced the challenges they faced, learned from them, and used them to propel themselves forward. Think about Thomas Edison, for example. He faced countless failures before he finally succeeded in inventing the light bulb. If Edison had given up after his first, fifth, or even 20th failure, the world would be a much darker place. Instead, he viewed every failure as a lesson, an opportunity to adjust his approach and learn from his mistakes. His challenges didn't defeat him. They motivated him to keep going. It was his persistence and ability to embrace failure as part of the process that ultimately led to his success. The light bulb didn't just change the world, it changed the way we view failure. It taught us that failure isn't the end, it's a necessary part of the journey to success. This mindset, the ability to embrace challenges as opportunities, can be applied to all areas of life. Whether you're facing a tough situation in your career, in your relationships, or in your personal life, you have the choice to either succumb to the difficulty or to rise above it. When you approach challenges with the mindset that they are opportunities to grow, you are no longer a passive participant in your own life. You become an active creator of your reality. One of the key reasons we fear challenges is because we're afraid of failure. We've been conditioned to believe that failure is something to avoid at all costs, but the truth is, failure is an essential part of success. Failure teaches us valuable lessons that success cannot. Failure teaches us what doesn't work, and in doing so, it guides us toward what will work. It builds resilience and character, and it gives us the confidence to keep going. Without failure, we wouldn't learn the important skills we need to navigate life. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of the path to success. When you embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, you stop fearing failure. You realize that failure is simply a stepping stone toward your next success. Each failure teaches you something new, whether it's about your abilities, your strategy, or your perseverance. And each time you rise from failure, you become stronger, more capable, and more prepared for the next challenge. It's not about avoiding difficulty. It's about learning to face it with courage, wisdom, and determination. Another powerful aspect of embracing challenges is the opportunity to develop problem-solving skills. When you encounter a challenge, you are forced to think critically and find solutions. This process of problem solving helps you develop skills that are not only valuable in the situation at hand, but also transferable to other areas of your life. The more challenges you face, the better you become at finding creative solutions. Your ability to solve problems will increase, and you will become more resourceful in dealing with adversity. This approach also builds confidence. When you successfully navigate a challenge, you prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming obstacles. Every time you rise above adversity, you reinforce the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. This confidence is contagious. It spreads into other areas of your life and helps you approach future challenges with a sense of assurance. You become less afraid of failure and more focused on the possibility. The more you face challenges head-on, the more confident you become in your ability to overcome anything that life throws your way. But how do we shift our perspective when faced with a challenge? How do we go from seeing difficulty as a setback to seeing it as an opportunity? The key is to change the way we think about challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles that prevent us from achieving our goals, we can choose to see them as opportunities for personal development. This shift in mindset is not always easy, but it's incredibly powerful. It requires us to stop viewing life as something that happens to us and start seeing it as something that happens for us. When you change your perspective, you begin to appreciate the value of the lessons that challenges bring. You begin to understand that without challenges, there would be no growth. You wouldn't develop the same level of resilience, problem-solving ability, or inner strength if life were always easy. Challenges are what shape us into the people we are meant to be. They help us discover our true potential and teach us how to rise above adversity. I encourage you to embrace every challenge you face as an opportunity for growth. Whether it's a small problem or a major life crisis, understand that it is an opportunity for you to evolve, to learn, and to become the best version of yourself. Life isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about learning how to face them with grace, determination, and a willingness to grow. So every time you encounter a challenge, instead of feeling overwhelmed or defeated, remind yourself of this powerful affirmation. I embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. Say it with conviction, say it with confidence, and most importantly, believe it. Because when you believe that challenges are opportunities, you will no longer see them as barriers. You will see them as stepping stones, leading you toward a brighter, stronger, and more successful future. There are moments in life when we feel stuck. We reach a point where it feels like we are running in circles, unable to move forward, unable to make progress. These moments can be disheartening, and it's easy to become overwhelmed by the weight of our circumstances. But let me remind you today that you have the power to break free from any situation that is holding you back. The affirmation, I am in control of my life and my future, is a declaration of personal power and self-responsibility. It is a reminder that you are the master of your own destiny, and no external circumstance or challenge can define your future unless you allow it. When we speak this affirmation, we are making a conscious decision to take control of our lives. We are refusing to let the circumstances around us dictate how we feel, how we act, or how we live. We are reminding ourselves that we have the power to shape our own reality. This sense of control is not about controlling every single aspect of our lives, because there will always be things beyond our influence. However, it's about recognizing that we control our responses, our mindset, and our decisions. We control how we approach challenges, how we react to setbacks, and how we move forward in the face of adversity. Too often we fall into the trap of thinking that our lives are dictated by forces beyond our control. We blame our situations, our past, or even other people for the circumstances we find ourselves in, but the truth is that we always have a choice. We may not be able to control the events that happen to us, but we can control how we respond to them. We have the power to choose our actions, our mindset, and our belief. We are not passive participants in our own lives. We are active creators of our reality. Taking control of your life begins with recognizing that you have the power to choose. Every day you make decisions that shape your future. The choices you make today will determine the direction your life takes tomorrow. It's easy to feel helpless when faced with challenges or difficult circumstances. But remember that even in the toughest situations, you always have the power to choose your next step. You have the power to decide whether you will stay stuck or whether you will take action to move forward. You have the power to decide whether you will let fear or doubt hold you back, or whether you will choose courage and confidence. This sense of control also extends to your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you believe that you are powerless or that your future is determined by factors outside of your control, then that will be your experience. But when you choose to believe that you are in control of your life, you will begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will approach challenges with confidence and resilience because you know that you have the ability to overcome them. You will stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as a victor in your own life story. One of the most powerful ways to take control of your life is through intentionality. When you live with purpose and intention, you are making a conscious decision to direct your energy toward the things that matter most to you. This means setting clear goals, creating a plan to achieve them, and taking consistent action every day. It means choosing to prioritize your time, energy, and resources on things that align with your values and vision for your life. When you live intentionally, you stop drifting through life and start taking proactive steps to create the future you desire. Living with intention also means saying no to distractions and things that don't serve your goals. It means setting boundaries that protect your time and energy. We live in a world full of distractions, and it's easy to get pulled in a million different directions. But when you are in control of your life, you make choices that align with your purpose, not with what others expect of you or with what society tells you is important. You are clear about what matters most to you, and you make decisions accordingly. Control over your life also means taking responsibility for your actions. It means acknowledging that you are the one who is ultimately responsible for your choices, your successes, and your failures. Taking responsibility empowers you because it puts you in the driver's seat. Instead of blaming others or making excuses for your circumstances, you take ownership of your life and your decisions. When you take responsibility, you become the architect of your own destiny. You stop waiting for things to change and start taking action to create the life you want. This sense of control doesn't mean that everything will always go smoothly or that you will never face setbacks. Life will still throw challenges your way. There will still be moments of doubt, failure, and disappointment. But when you embrace the belief that you are in control of your life, you understand that these challenges are just a part of the process. They are not obstacles that define you. They are opportunities for growth and learning. You have the power to learn from your mistakes, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. You have the power to choose how you respond to adversity. Another important aspect of taking control of your life is letting go of the need for approval from others. So often we seek validation and approval from the people around us. We seek reassurance that we are making the right decisions, that we are on the right path. But the truth is that you do not need anyone's approval to live the life you were meant to live. You do not need to conform to the expectations of others or seek their permission to pursue your dreams. You have the right to make your own decisions, to chart your own course, and to follow your own path. When you let go of the need for external validation, you free yourself from the constraints of other people's opinions. You become more confident in your ability to make decisions that are right for you, regardless of what others may think. You trust your intuition and your judgment, knowing that you are the best person to determine what is best for your life. Finally, taking control of your life means embracing the present moment. It means not waiting for the perfect time or the ideal circumstances to take action. Too often we put off our dreams, our goals, and our desires because we're waiting for the right moment. But the truth is that the right moment is now. The present moment is the only time you truly have control over. The past is behind you and the future is uncertain, but today is in your hands. Make the most of it. Take action today, no matter how small, toward the life you want to create. When you declare, I am in control of my life and my future, you are affirming your power and your responsibility. You are taking ownership of your journey and your destiny. You are choosing to live with intention, to take responsibility for your actions, and to create the future you desire. The power is in your hands. The future is yours to shape. So, I encourage you today to embrace this belief. Take control of your life and watch as you transform your circumstances and your future. There is something incredibly powerful about setting intentions and aligning our thoughts, actions, and energies toward the future we desire. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle of daily life, distracted by the many things that demand our attention, that we forget to pause and think about where we are headed. But it's crucial to understand that where we are today is the result of the choices we've made in the past. Our current reality is a reflection of the thoughts we've entertained, the decisions we've taken, and the actions we've pursued. However, the good news is this: just as we have created our current reality, we also have the power to create our future. This brings us to the powerful affirmation, I am the architect of my future. With this statement, we claim ownership of our lives. We accept full responsibility for our direction, and we recognize that the future we build is entirely within our hands. When we say these words, we are acknowledging that we are not victims of fate or circumstance. Rather, we are active participants in the design of our own lives. This shift in mindset is the first step toward creating a future that is aligned with our true desires, values, and purpose. The truth is, most of us spend a lot of time reacting to the world around us rather than creating intentionally. We respond to situations, people, and events as they come, but we rarely stop to think about the bigger picture, the direction in which we are moving. This can be a dangerous way to live because when we react without purpose, we often find ourselves drifting, being pulled in multiple directions, and losing sight of the goals we once set for ourselves. We can easily become sidetracked, caught up in distractions, or overwhelmed by life's demands. But when we decide to become the architects of our future, we take a step back and start to think strategically. We begin to recognize that every decision we make has an impact on the life we are building. Whether it's the way we manage our time, the relationships we cultivate, or the way we approach challenges, every choice matters. By becoming intentional about our actions, we take control of the life we are creating and align ourselves with the future we desire. One of the first steps in becoming the architect of our future is gaining clarity about what we want. It's easy to say, I want to be successful, but what does success actually look like to you? What does it feel like? What are the specific goals and outcomes you want to achieve in your career, relationships, health, or personal growth? Having a clear vision of the future you want to create is essential. Without a clear vision, it's difficult to know where to focus your energy, and you risk becoming distracted by things that don't align with your purpose. When you create a clear vision for your future, you begin to set concrete goals. These goals become your roadmap, guiding your actions and decisions every day. Without goals, we are like ships without a compass, drifting aimlessly, uncertain of our destination. Setting goals gives us direction. It empowers us to make decisions with purpose and intention, knowing that each step is taking us closer to the life we want to create. However, it's not enough just to set goals. You must also cultivate the mindset needed to bring those goals to life. You need to believe that you are capable of achieving them. Too often, we set big goals and then let doubt or fear take over. We second guess ourselves, worry about potential failure, and hold ourselves back from taking action. But to be the architect of your future, you must cultivate a mindset of self-belief. This means trusting in your ability to overcome challenges, stay focused, and make progress even when the path gets tough. Self-belief is crucial because it keeps you going when things don't go as planned. Life is full of obstacles, and there will be times when things don't unfold as expected. However, having the belief that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way allows you to stay resilient and adaptable. You learn to see setbacks as temporary and as opportunities to learn and grow. This mindset shift is essential for creating the future you want because it enables you to keep moving forward even in the face of adversity. The next step in being the architect of your future is taking consistent, purposeful action. Goals are great, and self-belief is necessary, but without action, neither of those things matter. You cannot expect to create the future you want if you are not actively working toward it every single day. It is through consistent action that we build momentum and move closer to our goals. Small daily steps add up over time and compound to create significant results. Sometimes the action required might feel daunting or overwhelming, especially if the goals are big or the path is uncertain. But remember, progress is progress, no matter how small. You do not have to achieve everything overnight. The key is consistency, showing up each day and taking action, even if it's just a small step. Over time, these small steps accumulate and begin to make a huge difference in your life. Another important aspect of being the architect of your future is the ability to let go of the past. Too often we hold on to past mistakes, regrets, or failures, and these can hold us back from moving forward. We become stuck in what went wrong, replaying the past in our minds and letting it define us. But in order to create the future we want, we must release the past and stop letting it control our present. The past is gone, and the only moment we have power over is the present moment. Letting go of the past does not mean forgetting it. It means learning from it, accepting it for what it was, and using those lessons to create a better future. Holding on to negative experiences or feelings of regret only drains your energy and keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity. Instead, focus on the future you want to create and take positive action toward it every day. When you shift your focus away from the past and onto the future, You begin to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the life you want to build. In addition to letting go of the past, being the architect of your future also means being mindful of the people and influences you allow into your life. Surround yourself with individuals who support your vision and encourage your growth. Seek out mentors, friends, and colleagues who inspire you and challenge you to become the best version of yourself. The people you spend time with can either uplift you or drain you, so it's important to be intentional about the relationships you cultivate. Your environment also plays a significant role in shaping your future. Ensure that your surroundings, both physical and mental, align with the future you are creating. Create a space that fosters creativity, focus, and productivity. Fill your mind with positive influences, including books, podcasts, and conversations that inspire and empower you to take action toward your goals. Being the architect of your future means taking full responsibility for the life you are building. It's about understanding that your choices, mindset, and actions today directly impact your tomorrow. You have the power to create the future you desire, and by gaining clarity, cultivating self-belief, taking consistent action, letting go of the past, and surrounding yourself with positivity, you can turn your vision into reality. So ask yourself today, what kind of future do I want to create? And then take the first step toward building that future. Because when you take control of your life and consciously design your future, anything is possible. Life is a journey, and on this journey, we often find ourselves navigating through challenges, changes, and unexpected detours. There are times when it feels like everything around us is unpredictable and the future seems uncertain. But in the midst of it all, there is one thing that remains constant: the belief that God has a plan for each and every one of us. It's a belief that we can hold on to when the road ahead seems unclear and when the challenges before us feel insurmountable. And this brings us to the powerful affirmation, I trust God's plan for my life. This affirmation is not just a statement, it's a declaration of faith. It is a reminder that we are not walking this journey alone, and that no matter how difficult or uncertain the path may seem, there is a higher purpose guiding us every step of the way. Trusting God's plan is an act of surrender and faith, and it requires us to let go of the need to control everything and to have confidence in the greater picture that God is painting for our lives. When we trust in God's plan, we are acknowledging that there is something bigger at work than we can fully comprehend. We may not always understand why certain things happen or why we face particular challenges, but when we trust in His plan, we believe that every circumstance is a part of a greater purpose. We know that God works all things together for good, even when we cannot see it in the moment. One of the most difficult aspects of life is dealing with uncertainty. The unknown can be frightening, and it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed when we don't know what lies ahead. However, trusting in God's plan allows us to find peace in the midst of that uncertainty. It gives us the assurance that even if we don't know what the future holds, we know that God does. He is with us, guiding us, and providing for us every step of the way. When we trust His plan, we release the burden of needing to have all the answers. We surrender our need for control and allow God to lead us toward the future He has prepared for us. But trusting God's plan doesn't mean that everything will be easy. In fact, it often means that we will face challenges, setbacks, and struggles. Trusting God's plan requires us to have faith during the difficult times. It's easy to trust when things are going well, but true faith is tested when things aren't going the way we expected. Trusting God's plan means holding on to faith when life doesn't make sense, when our prayers feel unanswered, and when we feel discouraged. It means knowing that even in the darkest moments, God is still at work, and He is still guiding us toward His purpose for our lives. There is a profound comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our struggles. We may face hardships, but we are never without hope. When we trust God's plan, we understand that every trial we face is not in vain. There is a purpose behind it. God uses our challenges to shape us, to build our character, and to prepare us for the next chapter in our lives. In the same way that a gardener prunes a plant to help it grow stronger, God allows us to go through trials in order to help us grow and become the people He created us to be. But what happens when things don't go according to plan? What happens when the future we envision for ourselves falls apart, or when we experience setbacks that feel like failures? This is where trusting God's plan really comes into play. Trusting God's plan is not about having a clear linear path to success. It's about knowing that even when things don't go as expected, God is still in control. His plan is still unfolding, and He is still guiding us toward the life He has in mind for us. Sometimes we get so attached to our own plans that we forget that God's plan is far greater than anything we could ever imagine. Our human understanding is limited, and we can only see a small piece of the puzzle. But God, in His infinite wisdom, sees the whole picture. He knows the beginning from the end, and He understands the reasons behind the events in our lives even when we don't. Trusting God's plan requires us to let go of our own limited perspective and to have faith in His greater wisdom. We may not understand why something is happening in our lives, but we trust that it is part of a greater plan that will ultimately lead us to a better place. It's also important to remember that God's timing is perfect. We often want things to happen on our schedule, but God's timing is always right. There are times when we feel like we've been waiting too long for something to happen, or that things are moving too slowly, but God's plan is not bound by our timeline. His plan unfolds at the perfect moment, and He will bring things into our lives when we are ready to receive them. Trusting in His timing means having patience and faith, knowing that everything will come together in the right way and at the right time. As we navigate through life's ups and downs, it's crucial to keep our focus on the fact that God's plan is always good. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't seem to be working out, but we must remember that God's plan for us is always for our good. He has plans to prosper us and not to harm us, plans to give us a future and a hope. His purpose for our lives is to bring us peace, joy, and fulfillment. When we trust in His plan, we are trusting in His goodness and His love for us. It's also important to remember that God's plan includes our free will. While He has a purpose for our lives, we still have the freedom to choose our path. We are not puppets on a string, but partners in His plan. He gives us the choice to trust Him, to follow His guidance, and to make decisions that align with His will for our lives. Trusting in God's plan means making a conscious decision to follow His lead and to trust that His way is the best way. Trusting God's plan is not a one-time act. It is an ongoing practice. Every day we must remind ourselves that we trust in His plan even when things don't go the way we expect. We must choose to release our anxiety, our fear, and our desire for control, and instead place our trust in God. When we trust in His plan, we open ourselves to the abundance of His grace, peace, and purpose. So today I encourage you to embrace this affirmation: I trust God's plan for my life. Whatever challenges you are facing, whatever uncertainty lies ahead, know that God is with you. His plan is greater than your own. His timing is perfect, and His love for you is unwavering. Trust that He is guiding you every step of the way, and that He will lead you to a future filled with hope, purpose, and fulfillment. When we think about the journey of life, it's important to realize that our thoughts shape our reality. We live in a world where our mindset can be the difference between success and failure, peace and anxiety, joy and sorrow. One of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves is to take control of our thoughts. And to do this, we must be intentional in what we allow our minds to focus on. The affirmation, I control my thoughts, and my thoughts control my destiny, is a profound truth. It is a reminder that the mind is not just a passive receiver of thoughts, but an active generator of the reality we experience. Every day you are bombarded with thoughts. Some are your own, while others are influenced by the people around you, the media, and the environment you are in. These thoughts can be positive or negative, empowering or limiting. But here's the key. We have the power to control what we focus on. The thoughts that you choose to entertain and nurture will ultimately shape your life. It's not the circumstances or situations you face that determine your destiny. It is the way you think about those circumstances, the way you respond to life's challenges, the way you see opportunities, and the way you perceive yourself all begin with your thoughts. This doesn't mean that you can control everything that happens to you in life, but you can control how you react to it. This is a significant distinction. Life is filled with uncertainty and challenges, and it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that our circumstances are out of our control. But the truth is, while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we think about it and how we respond. The power of our thoughts lies in our ability to choose our perspective. Think about a situation that you are currently facing. Maybe it's a challenge at work, a difficult relationship, or a personal struggle. The situation itself may seem overwhelming or out of your control, but your thoughts about that situation are within your control. You can choose to focus on the problem, which will only increase your stress and anxiety, or you can choose to focus on the solution, the lesson, or the growth that can come from the situation. You can choose to see the opportunity within the adversity. Your thoughts will determine whether you see the glass as half empty or half full. The importance of controlling your thoughts cannot be overstated. It is the foundation for success in all areas of life. When you control your thoughts, you control your emotions. And when you control your emotions, you control your actions. Your actions, in turn, create the results you experience in your life. It's a simple but profound chain reaction. If you think positive thoughts, you will feel positive emotions, and that will lead you to take positive actions that produce positive results. Conversely, if you think negative thoughts, you will feel negative emotions, and that will lead you to take negative actions, which will ultimately produce negative results. One of the most powerful things you can do is to start each day with intentional thoughts that align with your values, goals, and dreams. If you wake up with a mindset of gratitude, optimism, and determination, you are setting the tone for the entire day. But if you wake up with a mindset of fear, worry, and doubt, you are setting yourself up for a day filled with frustration, stress, and disappointment. The good news is that you have the power to choose how you start your day. You can take control of your thoughts and set yourself on a path to success and fulfillment. One of the easiest ways to take control of your thoughts is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself in order to reinforce a belief or mindset. When you consistently repeat affirmations, you begin to reprogram your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is like a sponge, soaking up the thoughts, beliefs, and experiences you expose it to. If you consistently feed it negative thoughts, it will begin to accept those as truth. But if you consistently feed it positive, empowering thoughts, it will begin to accept those as truth as well. For example, you might start your day by repeating the affirmation, "I am capable of achieving my goals. I am worthy of success, and I trust in my ability to overcome any obstacle." This affirmation reinforces the belief that you are in control of your destiny and that you have the strength and resilience to face any challenge that comes your way. By repeating this affirmation, you are programming your mind to focus on your strengths, your capabilities, and your potential. Another powerful tool for controlling your thoughts is visualization. Visualization is the practice of imagining yourself achieving your goals and living your desired life. When you visualize your success, you are sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind that this is the reality you are working toward. The more vivid and detailed your visualization, the more real it becomes in your mind. This process helps to increase your confidence, reduce fear, and reinforce the belief that you are capable of creating the life you want. Visualization and affirmation work hand in hand. While affirmations help you to reframe your thoughts and beliefs, visualization helps you to experience those beliefs on a deeper emotional level. By combining the two, you create a powerful mental image of your desired future that becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind. This mental image then becomes a driving force behind your actions, fueling your motivation and determination to make your dreams a reality. It's also important to remember that the process of controlling your thoughts requires practice and consistency. Our minds have a tendency to wander, and negative thoughts can creep in without warning. This is completely normal, and it's important not to be discouraged when it happens. The key is to catch those negative thoughts early and replace them with positive, empowering ones. Over time, you will find that controlling your thoughts becomes easier, and the positive thoughts will become more automatic. In addition to affirmations and visualization, another effective way to control your thoughts is through mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment without judgment. It involves observing your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting caught up in them. Meditation is a powerful tool that helps to quiet the mind, reduce stress, and increase self-awareness. By practicing mindfulness and meditation regularly, you can develop a greater sense of control over your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to respond to life's challenges with greater clarity and calmness. As you begin to take control of your thoughts, you will start to notice a shift in your mindset and your life. You will begin to feel more confident, more focused, and more in control of your destiny. You will notice that you are attracting more positive opportunities and that the challenges you face no longer seem as daunting. By controlling your thoughts, you are taking control of your life. You are creating the mindset of a champion, and that mindset will propel you towards success and fulfillment. Remember, your thoughts are the foundation of your reality. What you think about yourself, your circumstances, and your future will determine what you experience in life. So take control of your thoughts today and begin the process of creating the life you desire. You have the power within you to change your thoughts, and by doing so, you will change your destiny. In the journey of life, we often find ourselves grappling with a wide range of emotions, including fear, doubt, anxiety, and insecurity. These emotions can sometimes become overwhelming, clouding our judgment and hindering our progress. But there is a powerful affirmation we can hold on to that will help us break free from these emotional chains. I choose peace over anxiety. This simple yet profound statement is a declaration of control, a reminder that we have the power to decide how we respond to the emotions that rise within us. Anxiety is a feeling that many of us have experienced at some point in our lives. It is that sense of unease, fear, or worry that can take over our minds and our bodies. It might be triggered by external circumstances like a challenging situation at work, a strained relationship, or financial difficulties. Or it might arise from internal thoughts, fear of the future, fear of failure, or even fear of the unknown. Regardless of the cause, anxiety has a way of making us feel helpless, as though we are powerless in the face of our circumstances. But the truth is, we do not have to succumb to anxiety. We do not have to let it control us. The first step in choosing peace over anxiety is acknowledging that we are in control of our thoughts and emotions. Too often we allow ourselves to become victims of our feelings, allowing them to dictate our actions and our mindset. But when we take a step back and realize that we have the power to choose how we respond, we begin to reclaim our peace. The key to this is mindfulness, the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming consumed by them. When we practice mindfulness, we create a space between stimulus and response. Instead of reacting impulsively to anxious thoughts, we can take a moment to pause, breathe, and choose how we will respond. This is where the power of choice comes into play. When anxiety arises, we can choose to let it overwhelm us, or we can choose to embrace peace. Choosing peace means acknowledging the anxiety but not allowing it to control us. It means recognizing that anxiety is a temporary emotion, one that will pass if we allow it to. Rather than feeding our anxiety with fear and worry, we can choose to focus on what we can control and let go of what is beyond our control. By doing so, we create space for peace to enter our hearts and minds. But choosing peace over anxiety is not always easy. It requires practice and patience. In a world that moves at a fast pace with constant demands and distractions, it can be difficult to quiet the noise and find stillness. We live in a culture that often glorifies busyness and productivity, making it hard to slow down and take care of our emotional well-being. But peace is not something that can be found in external circumstances. It must come from within. One of the most powerful tools for choosing peace over anxiety is deep breathing. When we feel anxious, our breath becomes shallow and rapid, which only exacerbates our feelings of anxiety. But by consciously slowing our breath and focusing on deep, calming inhales and exhales, we activate the body's relaxation response, signaling to our mind that it is time to let go of tension and stress. Deep breathing helps to lower our heart rate, reduce blood pressure, and calm the nervous system. It is a simple yet effective way to bring our minds back to a state of balance and tranquility. In addition to deep breathing, practicing gratitude is another powerful way to choose peace over anxiety. Anxiety often arises when we focus on what is lacking in our lives or when we become consumed by fear of the future. But when we shift our focus to the things we are grateful for, when we practice gratitude, we shift our energy from scarcity to abundance, from fear to peace. It is a practice that helps us stay grounded in the present moment, rather than getting caught up in worries about the past or future. Another powerful way to choose peace over anxiety is through prayer or meditation. Taking time each day to connect with something greater than ourselves can help us to find calm in the midst of chaos. Whether we turn to God in prayer or engage in a quiet meditation practice, these moments of stillness allow us to reconnect with our inner peace. Prayer and meditation offer a sense of perspective, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles. They help us to release our anxieties and place our trust in a higher power, knowing that we are being guided and supported every step of the way. It is also important to recognize that anxiety is often fueled by negative thoughts and beliefs. Our minds have a tendency to catastrophize, imagining worst-case scenarios and assuming that things will not work out. But the truth is, our thoughts are not always accurate reflections of reality. Our minds can deceive us, leading us to believe that our worries are bigger than they actually are. This is where the power of positive thinking comes into play. By consciously challenging our negative thoughts and replacing them with positive affirmations, we can shift our mindset and reduce anxiety. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, we can choose to focus on what could go right. Instead of fearing the future, we can embrace it with confidence, knowing that we have the strength and resilience to handle whatever comes our way. Choosing peace over anxiety also involves setting boundaries. Sometimes we become anxious because we allow ourselves to be overextended or overwhelmed by the demands of others. We may feel like we have to say yes to everything, or that we are responsible for taking care of everyone else. But the truth is, we cannot pour from an empty cup. In order to maintain our peace, we must learn to say no when necessary and prioritize our own well-being. This may mean setting limits on our time, energy, or resources, but it is a necessary step in choosing peace over anxiety. Ultimately, the decision to choose peace over anxiety is a daily practice. It is a choice we must make again and again, especially in times of stress or uncertainty. Life will always present challenges, but we have the power to decide how we will face them. By choosing peace, we create a sense of calm in the midst of chaos, a sense of confidence in the face of fear. When we choose peace over anxiety, we not only improve our emotional well-being, but we also enhance our physical health. Chronic anxiety can take a toll on the body, contributing to stress illnesses such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and digestive issues. By choosing peace, we reduce the harmful effects of stress on our bodies and improve our overall health and vitality. So I encourage you to embrace this affirmation. I choose peace over anxiety. The next time anxiety arises, take a deep breath, focus on gratitude, and remind yourself that peace is always within your reach. You have the power to control your thoughts, your emotions, and your response to the world around you. Choose peace and watch how it transforms your life. One of the most powerful statements we can make to ourselves is, I trust in God's timing. It is a statement of faith, of patience, and of surrender. In a world that demands instant results and immediate gratification, this statement serves as a reminder that God's timing is not always aligned with our own. But in that truth lies the beauty of divine wisdom and purpose. Trusting in God's timing means acknowledging that everything happens for a reason, and that the delays, detours, and obstacles we face are part of a bigger plan. one that is far greater than we can understand at the moment. We live in a society that often pressures us to move quickly, to act without hesitation, and to chase after success with urgency. The pace of life can feel relentless, and it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if things aren't happening quickly, something is wrong. We look around at others who seem to be advancing, achieving, and thriving, while we may feel like we're falling behind. The clock ticks away, and we wonder why our dreams and desires haven't yet materialized. But this is where the power of trusting in God's timing becomes crucial. God's timing is different from our own. We may feel impatient when things aren't happening as quickly as we want, but the truth is that God's plan for us is unfolding exactly as it should in His perfect time. The Bible teaches us that there is a time for everything under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3:1-8 reminds us that there is a time for birth, a time for death, a time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to weep, and a time to laugh. This passage speaks to the natural rhythm of life. Things come and go, opportunities arise and pass, and seasons change. But in every season, we must trust that God is at work, even when we don't see the results right away. When we trust in God's timing, we are acknowledging that He knows what is best for us. Sometimes we want things to happen on our terms, but God's wisdom far surpasses our own understanding. What we perceive as a delay or setback might actually be a necessary step in our growth. We might feel frustrated or discouraged because our prayers have not been answered in the way or in the timing we expected, but this is where faith comes in. Trusting in God's timing means knowing that He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of our lives, even when we can't see it. There may be times when we experience disappointment or confusion because things aren't unfolding as we had hoped. Perhaps a promotion we desired didn't materialize, a relationship didn't work out, or a dream we were pursuing hasn't come to fruition. These moments can test our faith, but they also present an opportunity for growth. It is in these times that we are called to lean into our trust in God's timing, remembering that He sees the bigger picture. What may seem like a setback could be a redirection towards something better. God is never late, but He is always right on time. Trusting in God's timing doesn't mean sitting idly by and doing nothing. It doesn't mean that we should passively wait for life to happen. Instead, it's about trusting God with the process, while actively working toward our goals and staying open to the path He is guiding us toward. Trusting in His timing means being obedient to His lead, taking steps in faith, and surrendering our plans when necessary. It means being patient when we feel like moving ahead and being still when God is asking us to wait. Waiting is not always easy. It can be uncomfortable and unsettling. We often want things to happen on our timeline because we feel like time is slipping away. But in the waiting, we are refined. It is during these moments that we develop patience, resilience, and strength. Waiting teaches us to trust not only in God's plan, but also in His provision. We learn to rely on His faithfulness and to rest in the assurance that He will never leave us nor forsake us. Waiting gives us the opportunity to grow in character and trust that God is preparing us for something far greater than we could imagine. Sometimes trusting in God's timing means trusting that He is protecting us from things we cannot see. There may be dangers or obstacles ahead that we aren't aware of, and God, in His infinite wisdom, is keeping us from those things. We might feel frustrated by the delays, but in hindsight, we often see how those delays spared us from harm or led us to something better. God's timing is not just about when things happen. It's about protecting us, providing for us, and positioning us for His purposes. In the midst of waiting, it's important to keep our hearts and minds focused on the promises of God. The Bible is full of verses that remind us of His faithfulness, and it is in those promises that we can find hope and peace. Psalm 27:14 encourages us to wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. This is a powerful reminder that waiting is not a passive activity. It requires strength and courage. Trusting in God's timing requires us to be strong in our faith and to remain confident that He is working everything out for our good. It's also essential to remember that God's timing is always perfect because His timing is rooted in His love for us. He knows the desires of our hearts, and He is faithful to fulfill those desires in His time. But sometimes the timing of our blessings needs to be aligned with the readiness of our hearts. We may desire something, but God knows if we are truly prepared to handle it. There may be areas in our lives that need to be refined or strengthened before we can fully embrace the blessings He has in store for us. In those moments of waiting, God is at work, preparing us for the very thing we long for. As we trust in God's timing, we must also remember that His timing is an act of grace. Sometimes we feel like we deserve certain things because we've worked hard, prayed long, or sacrificed much. But God's grace is not about what we deserve, it's about what He freely gives. His timing is an expression of His love and grace, and it reminds us that we don't have to strive or force things to happen. We can rest in the knowledge that God's timing will always be the best for us, even if it doesn't match our expectations. In closing, trusting in God's timing requires a deep level of faith. It's easy to trust when things are going according to plan, but it takes courage to trust when the path is unclear or when our prayers seem unanswered. But when we surrender our timing to God, we align ourselves with His divine purpose. His timing is perfect, and His plan for us is greater than anything we could imagine. So I encourage you today to trust in His timing, to surrender your plans, and to have faith that He is working everything out for your good. Remember, His timing is never early, never late, always just right. There is a profound truth that we must embrace in our lives. I am more than enough. This powerful affirmation is not just a statement of self-empowerment, but a reminder that we are designed with unique potential and purpose. We often live in a world that bombards us with messages of inadequacy, urging us to compare ourselves to others, to measure our worth based on external achievements or the approval of those around us. But deep down, we must know and believe that we are more than enough, just as we are. The idea of being enough is something many people struggle with. It's easy to get caught up in the trap of comparison. We look at others and feel like we fall short. We measure our success, beauty, intelligence, or abilities against those around us, constantly feeling as though we need to do more, be more, or have more to feel truly fulfilled. Social media, advertising, and even the people closest to us can often reinforce this belief that we are not enough. But the truth is, no one can define our worth except ourselves, and most importantly, the Creator who designed us. You see, when we say, I am more than enough, we are acknowledging that our value does not depend on external validation or comparisons. We are unique individuals, each with our own strengths, talents, and purposes. We don't have to conform to societal standards or meet the expectations of others to feel worthy. Our worth is intrinsic. It is built into who we are. This is not to say that we should never seek to improve or grow. On the contrary, personal growth and development are vital parts of the journey. However, this affirmation reminds us that no matter where we are on that journey, we are enough right now. This message of being more than enough speaks to the heart of who we are as human beings. It challenges the limiting beliefs we may have adopted over the years. Many of us were conditioned from a young age to believe that we had to prove our worth through performance. We were told that success was the only indicator of value and that failure equaled being less than or not enough. These beliefs can be deeply ingrained, shaping the way we view ourselves and our potential. But if we pause and reflect, we'll realize that our worth isn't tied to our accomplishments or our failures. It's inherent in the very fact that we exist. In the eyes of the Creator, you are more than enough. You are worthy of love, respect, and success. Not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are. This fundamental truth should be the foundation upon which we build our lives. When we internalize the belief that we are more than enough, it transforms the way we approach challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. We no longer feel the need to prove ourselves to others because we already know our worth. The danger comes when we allow the opinions of others to define us. The world will often try to tell us who we should be, how we should look, or what we should accomplish to feel fulfilled. But the reality is that you were not created to live according to someone else's script. You have a unique purpose that no one else can fulfill. When we embrace the truth that we are more than enough, we can start living authentically without the burden of trying to meet external expectations. We can live in alignment with who we were truly meant to be. It's important to recognize that embracing this truth does not mean we should settle for mediocrity or complacency. Being more than enough doesn't mean we are perfect, nor does it mean we should stop striving for personal growth and excellence. It means that we are enough in our imperfections, flaws, and struggles. We are enough because we are constantly evolving, learning, and growing. The key is to stop tying our sense of worth to achievements or outcomes, but instead to recognize that we are worthy simply because we exist. When we adopt the mindset of "I am more than enough," we begin to shift our perspective on life. Instead of viewing ourselves as lacking or incomplete, we start to see ourselves as whole and capable. This shift in mindset opens up possibilities and opportunities. When we truly believe we are enough, we stop holding ourselves back out of fear of failure or rejection. We take risks, we push past our comfort zones, and we pursue our dreams with confidence. This belief also allows us to let go of the need for validation from others. When we realize we are enough, we don't need to seek approval from others to feel good about ourselves. We become less dependent on the opinions of others and more focused on our own growth, happiness, and fulfillment. We stop measuring our worth by the standards of others and start living in alignment with our true selves. One of the greatest challenges we face in embracing our worth is the inner critic, the voice inside our heads that tells us we are not enough. This voice can be loud, persistent, and relentless. It often emerges in times of failure or self-doubt, convincing us that we are unworthy of success, love, or happiness. The truth, however, is that the inner critic is a liar. It thrives on fear and insecurity, and it attempts to keep us stuck in a place of self-limitation. But we don't have to listen to that voice. We have the power to quiet it and replace it with affirmations of self-love and self-worth. By repeating to ourselves that we are more than enough, we begin to rewire our minds. We challenge the negative beliefs that have held us back for so long. Each time we declare our worth, we affirm our power and potential. Over time, these affirmations become a part of who we are, shaping our thoughts, behaviors, and actions. We begin to approach life with a new sense of confidence, knowing that we are worthy of all the good things that come our way. The journey to fully embracing the belief that we are more than enough requires patience and consistency. It's not a one-time declaration, it's a daily practice. We must continue to remind ourselves of our worth, especially during times of difficulty or self-doubt. There will be moments when we question ourselves, but in those moments, we must return to the truth. We are enough just as we are. We don't need to earn our worth. It is already ours, inherent in our existence. This belief is also liberating because it allows us to let go of the fear of failure. When we know that we are more than enough, we understand that failure is not a reflection of our worth. It's simply part of the process of growth and learning. We no longer see failure as something to be ashamed of, but rather as an opportunity to learn and grow. Failure doesn't define us, it refines us. The affirmation, "I am more than enough," is a powerful tool for transforming our lives. It allows us to stop seeking validation from external sources and to embrace our inherent worth. It encourages us to live authentically, pursue our dreams with confidence, and overcome self-doubt. By repeating this affirmation daily, we begin to rewire our minds and shift our perspective. We no longer measure our worth by external achievements, but by the truth that we are worthy simply because we exist. Embrace this truth today and watch as it transforms your life in ways you never thought possible. You are more than enough, and your potential is limitless.